Then I'm going to draw what? I'm looking in my reflection, and I'm going to draw this bottom eye part here. And I know that oh wait, make sure you draw on whisper lines. I'm drawing darker. I'm having to remind myself to draw dark. Okay, I'm drawing darker than I would. I would draw very, very lightly with whisper lines. Now I'm going to come in and draw that top lid. That's the lid of my eye. Now if you feel confident and you want to work ahead, then you may work ahead. Because remember, we have done some of this. And now I see that I have my other lid, like this is the top, that rim of my eyeball lid. I have this part, so I'm going to come in and draw that lid in there. All right? Then I'll draw my pupil here inside of my iris. Let her in. I'll do that same thing there. And this is where I'm going to stop on my eyes because I don't want to add too much detail yet. Remember, I am drawing a lot darker. I can't repeat that enough. Then you will. You want to draw in whisper lines because you're going to erase this. Right? Then, ready for nose. Are y'all ready for the nose? I think we can get this. Because this is review from what we did last class. Remember my nose, I take my finger, my knuckle part here, and I measure from the middle of the eye at an angle. This right here is going to be where my nose is. I'm going to do the same thing. Here to there, that right there is going to be where my nose is. And it's one eye wide. So it's going to stretch from there to there. Now remember those techniques and help that you did. Make sure you're looking straight into the camera and not up. So I'm going to look and I'm going to draw this part of my nose. Kind of okay, a bit of a glare on my reflection. So this part right here is that circle that I was showing everybody last class. Remember how I said some people are circles and some people are ovals? I'm more of like an oval right there, like a button. So I'm drawing that in. And then I'm going to draw on my nostril so that I can get my viewpoint. And there's my nose. Remember, if you look at it, think of it like those flying birds in a beach scene, only this part is round, and then a parenthesis on either side. And then there's my nose. I've got this little shine on my nose here. Remember, I'm not going to draw the line all the way up the side because then it will make it look too flat, right? So Asante, I just want to make sure, do you have a question or did you just forget to put your hand down? Oh. So, it is down? Okay, it's still showing up on my end, but now remember. Okay, you saw that a little earlier. Jacqueline, did your hand I saw go up? Now it's down. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to map out my mouth and where my mouth is going to go. Remember, if you use my finger here as a guide, I'm going to take it from the bottom of my nose down. That's one vertical eye like this, and that's the bottom of my lips. For those of you that weren't here last class, this is what I keep talking about when I'm referring to the eyes. Your head is 5 eyes wide. The distance between the bottom of your eye and the top of your eyebrow is one vertical eye. Here's that nose that we just did. You have your eye at an angle from the middle of your eye to the edge of your nose. Your nose is one eye. So when I keep saying these, this is what I am referring to. So we just did the bottom of the nose to the bottom of the lips as a vertical eye, and then the bottom of the lips to here. And I know I keep saying eyes, but that's because it's the easiest way for you to judge and use proportions on your face, but also because it's about the same size here as your knuckle, or an inch, and you have those techniques, those materials with you at all times. So I've measured this out, and this tells me that this right here is gonna be my chin line. And this is gonna tell me what shape of face that I have. That is important because that tells me what size my lips are. So I have this here. I have my eyes. I know this is the side of my head. I know this is my nose. This is the bottom of my mouth. And now I have to look at my eyes, my jawline, to determine what is that shape of my face. Okay, so I'm gonna look, and for me, I am more of an oval here. I don't know if you can see that. Let's try this. I am more of an oval shape, but my chin does have a little bit of a heart to it. So I'm kind of a combination of these two, and that's okay, that's common, but I'm mostly oval. And that's important because if you are round, square, or round, square, or diamond, that's going to tell you that this part on your face, from the edge of your mouth to the edge of your face, is one eye. But if you are rectangle, heart, or oval, then it tells you your lips are 2 eyes wide. So they would look like this. You are one of the other, but not both. Okay? So look to see what you are, and then draw your chin line in. And I notice that my chin comes like this a little bit here, and then it's now I didn't draw all the way here because that's all going to be my hair. Okay, I hope y'all were drawing your side of your face there. And notice I have not drawn my hair on my forehead. So I'm just drawing this guideline here, this outside contour edge of the face, right? Are we good for this part so we can move on to the next? Yep. Everybody there? Okay. So now I'm going to draw in my mouth. And remember, your mouth, when you're drawing your mouth, you look at that middle line first and you draw that middle line. So when you have a mouth, you draw this middle line here first, then you draw your upper lip, and then you draw your bottom lip. Remember, your top lip and your bottom lip can be the same size. Your top lip can be smaller and your bottom lip larger, or your top lip could be larger and your bottom lip smaller. You can have it, the proportion of your lips there is not with your eye. The edges of your mouth and the size of your overall mouth is. So look at your lips and make sure that you're drawing them in that same way. So I'm going to start with my lips here. And I'm going to make my little cupid's, this is called a cupid's bow, this part here. Remember, on that eye measurement. That's a vertical eye, and halfway is the top of your lips, right? So that's about 1/2 inch, okay? That's about 1/2 inch there. So I'm gonna come and I'm gonna draw this part of my lips, this little Cupid's bow here. And my top lip is smaller than my bottom lip. Now I'm gonna draw, that just kind of gets me started. I'm gonna draw in my lips. I go here. Okay, so I've got that line. It's hard for me to do it and talk at the same time. Got that line here in the middle. So that's my middle line. Now remember, for gentlemen, you can draw just this line in, or you can draw that part too. But some gentlemen will do just this for their lips here, where you have the line and then you just draw this like impression of a bottom lip, right? Ladies most of the time like to show the full lip. One way is not better than the other. It really is personal preference. Now I'm going to draw in my lips. And I have my lips like come together here, and then they kind of do this. So I'm looking. It's kind of hard to see. I've got a really bad glare where I am. I remember I don't like for that to connect all the way because it flattens out. And I'm also just drawing much, much darker than I should. Only so y'all could see. And then my top lip comes like here. Right? So that right there is going to be my lips. Drawing in that top lip and that bottom lip. Okay. Are there any questions? Would anybody like to show me their progress so far? I would really like to see how y'all are progressing right now. Let me see. Oh, move it to the, wow, that looks amazing. You even have your shadow, the little shadow on top of your nose and your lips. Yep. So that's what I was talking about, is when you draw the lips, a lot of males will do just this line. I don't know if anybody else saw that, but he has this line here. His looks like this, only better. That looks really good, where he's had this line and then this part here. And again, that's personal preference. I want for you to put your personality into these. Now that I have this here, now I'm going to go back up to my eyebrows, because that's going to determine my shape of my forehead and my hair and everything. So I'm going to come here, and remember, using my guide, I know that from the bottom of my eye to the top of that finger right there, that's where my brow bone goes. That's not my eyebrow, it's my brow bone, because remember, we have talked before about how eyebrows are a personal preference. It is something that some people shave their eyebrows, some people pluck them, some people shave them completely off and draw them on. Those are personal preferences. Those are not part of your anatomy, whereas your brow bone is. And it's the same for everybody, which means from the bottom of the eye up, one eye vertical. See, one eye vertical, that is going to be where that brow bone is, and your eyebrows are on there. Typically, you have from the edge of the eye up here, and from the nose to the edge of the eye here. It kind of creates this triangle, and that's typically where your eyebrows are. That's not the same for everybody, but that's the average. So then I'm going to come in and I'm going to draw the shape that I see. And I draw my shape. Can y'all see? There's a really bad glare for me. Like I'm having a hard time telling what I'm drawing. I hope y'all can see that. Okay. And I know, like I said, some of you, this is review from last class, but we haven't done the whole face together. And I am drawing. I know you're like, she just keeps saying the same thing over and over again. That's because you have to just remember, you draw as light as you can because you're going to erase all these lines. Right? Now, I have my eyebrows. I have all of this. I'm kind of set for right now, except for my neck. And some classes got this far and some classes didn't. But the edges of your eyes go straight down to the edge of your neck. The edge of your eyes goes straight down to the edge of your neck. There is an exception. Football players, wrestlers, they will, male or female, do special exercises to strengthen their neck muscles. And so if you look, you will see some professional athletes, their neck doesn't line up with the edge of their eyes. It lines up with the edge of their ears. Now, I will tell you that in my 20 years of teaching, actually it's more than that, I have only had one student whose neck was already strong enough to line up with the edge of their ears. But if you were drawing a superhero or some type of character and you wanted to exaggerate their strength, then making their neck line up with the edge of their ears instead of the edge of their eyes is a way to do that. Right. So now I'm going to come back to my picture and I'm going to very lightly, because remember you erase this, draw my line down so that I have my neck. Draw my line down. I'm hitting my thing so that I have my neck. I probably drew that too light for y'all. I'll try that again. Right. Now, here's the thing. Your shoulders and your neck will probably go off the edge of your paper. I doubt you will see your torso. And I'm going to show you that proportion in just a minute. Are we ready for the top of the head, or do I need to pause here? Okay. I didn't hear anything from anyone, so I'm going to assume y'all are ready. Go on. Thank you very much. Your eyes are in the middle of your head. So in order to make sure your head is the right size, see how I have this template? We've already determined it's the right size. If I took this and I folded it in half, which I don't like to do, it'll ruin it. But look, my eyes really are right there in the center. If I took this drawing and I folded it in half, right there along the eyes, you can see, hopefully, I hope you can see that, the top of the head and my chin, because is that showing through? Line up, because they really are in the middle. So I look at this and I say from here to here, from this guideline to my chin, that's the size of my face. And then I just lift my hand up, and that's going to give me the top of my head. Now remember, I am drawing a lot darker. This is important to keep you from having a forehead that's too short, to keep you from having your eyes all the way up in your forehead, and to keep you from having like too long of a head, like a cone head, I think is what they call it when it's way too tall, right? Elijah, what's your question? So I can let everybody else catch up.
Oh, when I was looking, the video looks pixelated.
It does? Okay, and your video's pixelated for me too. Maybe, I'm gonna post the video for this, Elijah. Maybe when you see the video, it won't be as pixelated. We can, let me know, is anybody else pixelated or is it just me and Elijah? Is everybody else fine? No, yours is pixelated too? Okay. I wonder why. My picture is clear, kind of. Oh, mine's not? Okay. I will look into that and hopefully the video that I'm sharing will be nice and clear. I don't know why this time of day, every day during my 6th grade class, like my system just gets really slow. And I'm the only one on the Wi-Fi right now. So I'll see if I can figure that out. There are also about 6 other teachers in on my street. So we're probably all teaching class at the same time. Now, it's time to do our hair. Am I good to go on? So, for your hair, you draw the shape that you see. I'm getting my camera back up. You draw the shape that you see. Come on. There we go. And my hair goes here. I'm going to draw my hairline. Remember, your hair grows out of your head. Even if your head is shaved, it grows out of your head. And I have really long hair, so I'm going to draw it coming down long. And then here. And then here. I have my ear coming here. And then I have this. Notice that I'm drawing it coming up out of my head. Also, your hairline goes in front of your ears. See how I've put that here? Because it grows in front of my ears. Now, this looks like a much younger version of me, but we'll work on it. It's a person's face and it's in perfect proportion. Now, ears. If you see your ear, then you should draw your ear. If you don't see your ear, then you don't draw it. Don't try to force it to be drawn in. And this book right here is one of the best books that I have found for drawing all parts of the body. It's called Figure It Out by Chris Hart. Any drawing book by Chris Hart is amazing. He has a whole series on monsters and superheroes and manga or manga, whichever one you say. And then he has this book, which is one of my favorites. And it shows you that even though we know this, wait a minute, I don't know if you can see it. This is what your ear looks like. That's not how you draw it. See how when it's drawn, it sticks out way too far? You want to draw it so that it's going back. So you simply draw what you see. So your edge of the bottom of your nose, see, here's another guideline. Bottom of your nose and bottom of your ears line up. And the top of your eyes and the top of your ears line up. So I'm going to use this here. And I'm going to do this here. This looks more like my daughter. Here. And then I'm going to draw what I see. Nobody is perfectly symmetrical. I have one ear that sticks out more than the other. This is my hair that comes and clips back. And then I can draw it. And again, I've got lots of earrings. I'll draw those in later. This ear on me always sticks out a little bit more. My hair comes up over. And again, I'm drawing what I see. And that's why it's important right here that you draw lightly so you can erase. Okay. Now, if you're looking at your picture and you're like, my face looks too wide. So if you looked at this and you were like, my face isn't that wide, it's much thinner. If you take your paper and you curve it like that, and that's what you look like, then it means you've made the distance from here to here on the side of your face too wide, and you need to thin that up. Then for my hair, I come in, and with hair, I always start like these details here, like around the rim. I would erase this line because it's a whisper line, and I don't need it anymore. I would also erase this guideline here because I don't need those anymore. And remember, yours are drawn really lightly, so they erase very well. You can erase this line down the middle. I'm starting to get my face in. And then don't do this and just color it in. You need your hairlines and your hairs to have purpose, to follow the natural path of your hair. Nobody's hair is just that perfectly straight. Look. Now, are there any questions about what you've done? I know we've done each feature together before, but this is the first time that we've kind of put it all together. Got a shadow there. I'll blend that in. I have on a hoodie, so I'm going to add that here. Remember, your shoulders, I started to say it, but I didn't, are 2 heads wide. So if I took this here, I would go 1, 2. I see this goes right off the edge. But I do have on this like hoodie cardigan, so I'm going to draw that rim there. And I have a necklace. Make sure you curve that line. If you're drawing a necklace, make sure you curve that line coming in. And it's kind of crinkled on this side to make it look more three-dimensional. If you just draw it flat right there and you don't curve it, it's going to make your neck look flatter. I'm going to smooth that in instead of, I want my brush strokes to show. And then you can come in and add your little details like here, your lips. Remember how we talked about going curved here. So a little shadow here for your Cupid's bow. That highlight and shadows here. I'm not coloring in those nostrils. I'm just adding in my shadows. So, does anybody have a question about how to do the portrait and to draw those details?